You miss them again, and you hate yourself for it because you know what they did. You remember the nights they left you shaking, the words that shouldn't have landed as hard as they did, but did. The way they made you feel small or invisible or like too much all at once. And yet here you are, thinking about them, maybe even wanting to call. There's something no one talks about, something that lives quietly in the space between knowing better and feeling it. And it's this. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most are also the ones we miss the most. Not in spite of the pain, because of it. Stay with that for a second, because by the end of this, you might finally understand why, and it might change how you see yourself. Imagine this, there's a person in your life. Maybe it was a relationship, maybe a parent, a best friend, someone who once felt like home. They weren't all bad, and that's the part that breaks you. There were moments with them that felt like sunlight, moments where they saw you in a way no one else ever had. They knew how to make you laugh at 2 a.m. They said exactly the right thing that one time when the world felt too heavy. But then, night without warning, they would disappear. Emotionally, sometimes physically. They'd go cold or cruel, or they'd just stop showing up. And you'd spend days, maybe weeks, wondering what you did wrong, trying to get back to that sunlight version of them. And then it would come back. Briefly, beautifully. And you'd think, this is it. This is who they really are. Until the next time they vanished. Sound familiar? Here's what was actually happening inside you, and it has nothing to do with being weak. There's something called intermittent reinforcement, and it's one of the most powerful psychological forces in human behavior. Here's the simple version. When something good happens every single time, your brain learns to expect it. It becomes normal, predictable, and we stop paying close attention to it. But when something good happens only sometimes, unpredictably, your brain becomes obsessed with it. It craves the next hit. It stays locked in. It will keep trying and trying, not because the reward is bigger, but because the uncertainty makes it feel bigger. This is how slot machines are designed. This is why gambling is addictive. And this, quietly, is what was happening in your relationship. The moments of warmth and connection weren't just nice, they were breaks in the pain. And breaks in pain feel like euphoria. Your brain doesn't just notice them, it marks them, holds them, plays them back. So when you miss that person now, you're not missing the whole person. You're missing that relief, that brief electric feeling of being chosen by someone who usually made you feel invisible. That's not love. That's a trauma response. And it was never your fault. But here's where it goes even deeper. Because there's something about unfinished pain that's different from any other kind. When something hurts and then heals completely, you move on. Your brain can close the file. But when something hurts and then briefly gets better and then hurts again over and over, your brain never gets to close anything. It stays open, searching, waiting for resolution. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik Effect. Your mind holds onto incomplete things far more tightly than completed ones, which means that a relationship that ended without closure, without answers, without ever quite making sense, will stay louder in your memory than years of stable peace. Think about that. The relationship that hurt you was probably also confusing. There was no clean ending, no moment where everything made sense, no real goodbye that gave you what you needed, and so your mind keeps returning to it, not because it misses the pain, but because it's still trying to solve it. Still trying to find the version of events where it all makes sense. You are not missing them. You are missing the resolution you never got. That's one of the most quietly devastating things about emotional pain. It doesn't just hurt you once. It keeps asking you to go back and finish something that was never actually finishable. Think about someone you know, or maybe this is you, who keeps getting back with someone who clearly isn't right for them. Everyone on the outside can see it. The pattern is obvious. But from inside, it doesn't feel like a cycle. It feels like hope. Because here's what no one tells you. When someone hurts you repeatedly but also loves you, in those in-between moments, your nervous system gets wired to their presence, their voice, their energy, not because it's safe, but because it's familiar. And your brain, especially under stress, reaches for the familiar, even when the familiar is painful. This is why people raised in chaotic households sometimes find themselves drawn to chaos in their adult relationships. Not because they want pain, because peace at some point started to feel like the unfamiliar thing, started to feel like waiting for something bad to happen. And if that resonates with you, sit with it for a moment, because recognizing it is not a small thing. Here's the twist I want you to sit with. You were told, but maybe by yourself, maybe by others, that missing this person means you still love them, or that you're not over it, or that something is wrong with you. But what if missing them is actually evidence of something else entirely? What if it means your capacity to attach is intact, that even after being hurt, you still reach for connection? That somewhere in you, there is a part that never stopped believing in the good version of them, because that version was real? You didn't imagine the good moments, they happened. And the fact that you can still feel their weight means you are someone capable of deep love, deep loyalty, and deep feeling. That is not a flaw. That has just been misdirected. The pain didn't stay because you're broken. It stayed because you are capable of an attachment so strong, it doesn't dissolve easily. And one day, when you direct that same capacity towards someone who shows up consistently, who doesn't make you earn their warmth, you will feel what love is actually supposed to feel like. Not relief, not the absence of pain, just steadiness, safety, someone who stays. So the next time you catch yourself missing someone who hurt you, try not to judge yourself for it. Don't call yourself weak. Don't spiral into shame. Don't decide it means you should go back. Instead, ask yourself, what am I actually missing? Is it them? Or is it the feeling I had in those rare moments when everything felt okay? Is it them? Or is it the version of myself that existed in the good parts of that story? Because often, what we miss most isn't the person. It's who we were when we believed it was going to work out. And that version of you, and the one full of hope, full of love, willing to try, that version didn't disappear when they left. They're still here, waiting for somewhere safer to land. You are not someone who loves too much. You are someone who hasn't yet been loved the right way. And that is not the same thing. Not even close.